You can now configure Planning Analytics Workspace to defer grid refreshes when you edit leaf values in an exploration view. This greatly improves the rate at which you can enter data in a view, as there's no delay caused by recalculation when moving from one leaf cell to another during data entry. As of Planning Analytics Workspace version 33, this ability is controlled by a feature flag called Deferred Refresh, which can be turned on or off by a workspace administrator. This lets the administrator manage when new features are introduced in the workspace environment. If you're an administrator, you can manage the Deferred Refresh feature from the administration page. Click your username, then click Administer. Click the Features tab. Here, you can enable or disable the Deferred Refresh feature. Be sure that it's enabled to allow users to defer grid refreshes when leaf values are changed. When the feature is enabled, users can set a new view property named Defer on Leaf Data Change to control how leaf data changes are handled in individual views. We'll take a closer look at that in just a minute. By default, the Deferred Refresh feature is enabled in Workspace version 33. With the release of Workspace version 37, the Deferred Refresh feature will be permanently enabled and will not be subject to management by an administrator. You can use the Defer on Leaf Data Change view property to improve the performance of exploration views in Planning Analytics Workspace. This property can be set separately for any view. If you don't see this property available in your environment, consult with your workspace administrator. When this property is enabled, as it is by default for all views, changes to leaf values are immediately written to the TM1 database, but the recalculation of any affected consolidations or calculations in the view is deferred until you explicitly recalculate the view or perform an action that requires recalculation. Here, the Defer on Leaf Data Change property is enabled. When I enter data in a leaf cell and then hit Enter or Tab to move to the next cell, there's no lag. Data entry is immediate and efficient. Note that the font color of the modified leaf cells is now green, indicating that the values have been changed and saved on the TM1 database. The modified values are immediately available to other Planning Analytics users. To refresh the view and update any calculations or consolidations, you can press F9 or click the Refresh button on either the View shortcut bar or the Workspace toolbar. Additionally, any action that requires a refresh will force an update of any calculations or consolidations in the view. The actions that force a view recalculation include entering a new value directly in a consolidated cell, any data spreading operation on either leaf or consolidated cells, selecting a new value from a date picker in any cell, swapping rows and columns, expanding or collapsing the consolidated members in a view, and suppressing zeros. When the Defer on Leaf Data Change property is enabled, you can also modify string cells and string pick lists. It's also worth noting that conditional pick lists will work when Deferred Grid Refresh is enabled, because the source pick list selection is saved on the TM1 database, driving the conditional pick list.